drama. Yes, it continues. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. He is Max Kellerman. I'm Molly Karam, Stephen A. Smith in L.A. How we doing?
I'm all right. Let's go.
Good morning. Good thing you're out in L.A.
I'm all right. Good morning. Let's go.
All right. Stephen A. is focused. Let's get right into it, and that would be more of the unveiling from the Lakers drama. So now we have this blockbuster report by ESPN's Baxter Holmes, who spoke to multiple sources within the Lakers organization, highlighting team dysfunction on and off the court. And I am pleased to welcome ESPN.com reporter Baxter Holmes right now, who is kind enough to join us on very short notice. Good morning, Baxter. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Baxter. Let's get right to it. So you talked about in the article that the dysfunction with the Los Angeles Lakers started when Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka were hired. Please explain.
These two gentlemen came in with no front office experience. The task was to return the Lakers to greatness, and there was dramatic change that followed throughout. You would see, I would say, their inexperience in their positions show itself in various ways. But in two key areas I wanted to touch on that they impacted the organization. I would say first, Rob, as Magic Johnson spoke about on this show last week, entered into the position with credibility issues. Who has said on record before that he can have a kind of demonstrative personality. People in the organization saw that on the occasions when he was in the office, they would describe kind of a duality to his personality. There was Irvin, and then there was Magic. And I think these two things, culminating or played a key role in the dynamics of what the culture would become over the next 2 years within the Lakers.
So, Baxter, having said all of that, when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers and ultimately the demise of Magic Johnson in terms of his willingness to just step away and to walk away, what would you think was the biggest motivation behind his decision to walk away? Is it Rob Pelinka? Is it the kind of things that you talked about in terms of the dysfunctionality that rakes through the franchise right now? What's the biggest reason Magic Johnson is no longer the president of basketball operations for the Los Angeles Lakers based on your reporting?
I think a lot of it is what, he talked about on the air, honestly, last week. I think the commitment to the job, given his outside business interests, was too great for him to accept, especially for a team in rebuilding and the kind of task that it was going to take for him. I think given all the struggles, all the dysfunction, all the bad headlines over the course of the year, that it wasn't fun for him. You have the tampering fines and investigations that ensued, often sparked by some of his comments. So I think it's multifactorial in a lot of ways, for sure.
Go ahead,
Baxter,
I'm sorry.
You wrote about Magic Johnson, kind of split personality almost that people experienced. You also wrote about Rob Pelinka being, if not a compulsive liar, then it
Work by you, insightful report. Thank you so much for joining us this morning here on First Take. All right, we'll continue the conversation now, guys. Stephen A., I want to come to you. One of the trigger words that stood out to me in Baxter's report was Magic being referred to as a bully, because obviously we think of him as this big, lovable guy, the big smile. How do you think Magic looks now in all of this?
Well, first of all, I don't think that he looks great in all of this, but make no mistake about it, I also don't think he cares. And I think that's the most important point here. One of the things that I think people have lost sight of is that when Magic Johnson came on First Take last week, Magic Johnson did not apologize. A matter of fact, Max Kellerman pressed him about his decision to be so abrupt, his decision to announce it on the night of the season finale, his decision not to reach out to LeBron James. Magic Johnson said, "I did it my way. I don't care." And I think that's something that people have lost sight of. Magic Johnson is not apologizing for Magic Johnson's role. The Magic Johnson that I know, the smile and all, do I think that he might have been hard on employees that he deemed inefficient or unproductive? You're damn right he did. And knowing Magic, there's no question about it, because I've seen Magic beyond the smile. I believe that. Totally believe that. I've seen Magic. When Magic told you that he and I argued about Lonzo Ball, do y'all really think that was a friendly argument? I was sitting there saying, don't you draft that kid? Don't you draft that kid with the #1 overall pick? What are you thinking about? De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, if Boston passes on them or trades the pick up to Philadelphia and they grab Markelle Fultz, which they obviously did. A Marketing at 7, a Dennis Smith Jr. at 9, a Malik Monk at 11, a Donovan Mitchell at 13 or 14 by Utah. I said, you can't take that, kid. You can't. Magic and I went at it. It wasn't pleasant. So I'm fully aware of how Magic can be as a boss, as somebody who's definitive in his beliefs about what should be done and how things should be done. So in that regard, if that's making Magic look bad, I am telling you right now, the Magic Johnson that I know is like, so be it. Y'all could kiss my you-know-what. This how I felt. This is what I wanted to do. And damn it, that's what I did. And when I got tired of that nonsense and I decided I wanted to walk away because everybody wants to put it on me and act like other people didn't play a role in decisions that were made, fine, have your damn franchise. That's Magic Johnson, and he's not apologizing for it. So I just think it's important that everybody recognize it. Does that make him look great? Probably not. In some people's eyes, in other people's eyes, they don't give a damn. When you the boss, sometimes you don't make friends. That's how it goes.
How does this make Magic look? People are complex. One of the issues that athletes have nowadays with the media, or ever since the new journalism really, is once upon a time the media was there to make people who were covered in sports look like idols. So if Babe Ruth had a venereal disease, the kids were told in the papers that he had too many hot dogs, right? And then journalism became something that, at least sports journalism, they actually followed the people and told the stories. And the story about any human being will have good things and bad things. That's why people are interesting, and it's the reality. And so we've seen this like with people like Kevin Durant. Wait a minute, all I do is play the right way, work so hard, I'm phenomenal at this. I spend time in the community and give to charity and all these things. Why is there so much negative stuff about me? Because, KD, you're a person, and so you're interesting and you're multifaceted, and so is Magic Johnson. And the way this makes Magic look is, in my view, Stephen A., as follows. He's a ruthless businessman. Look, he talks about his father, who had the garbage route, right? And Magic would ride with him. And he told the story on my radio show with Marcellus in L.A., The garbage was one day in the winter was frozen over. The ice froze it over. And he comes back to the truck and says, Dad, I can't get to the garbage to pick it up. And his dad said, well, if there's ice over it, get through the ice. And in other words, no excuses. Go do your job. And Magic, look, he's 6'9" with handles and incredible passing ability. He became a multimillionaire. But even if he weren't, he was likely to lead a productive and successful life because of that kind of who he'd had the most success with, Pat Riley, one of the most intense, result-oriented, kind of ruthless coaches in the history of American team sports, right? So Magic brings that kind of intensity to the job. I don't find it hard to believe that he threatens and cajoles and creates an intense and pressure-filled atmosphere at times. I think the problem, Stephen A., is that he also appears a bit hypocritical because he demands that kind of intensity and dedication on the one hand, but on the other hand seemed to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Saying on this show, saying here on First Take, he told us, sitting right here, he told us, look, I told Jeannie when I took the job, I have a lot of different business interests, I'm going to have to still attend to them. So I think it's kind of tough for people to accept you must do it with this kind of intensity and be all in and there's all this pressure. Mm-hmm. But me, I might not be there sometimes. I'm kind of half in, half out. That's how I think it makes Magic look. Like a complex person.
I can't wait to respond to that last point.
Okay, yes, and we'll do that right after the break because clearly a lot to unpack here. Much more on Magic. First Take just getting started. Don't go anywhere.